It's nearly Thanksgiving, and what better way to bring the family to the dinner table than to recount the harrowing tale of the time Farfetch'd attempted to take on Pokémon Red all by himself. This tale begins in 1860 when Abraham Lincoln, yes, that Abraham Lincoln, decided to take on Pokémon Red with one Farfetch'd. Of course, he had a few rivals, John Bell, Stephen Douglas, and John C. Breckinridge. Of course, Stephen Douglas actually got second place in the popular vote, but last in the Electoral College. U.S. politics is weird. So we're going to name our rival, Breckinridge won't fit. How about John C.? Using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, we turn Bulbasaur into Farfetch'd. That way our opponent will have a Charizard, which will come in handy when it's time to smoke those turkeys. Speaking of turkey, that's what we're going to name our Farfetch'd. And before Lincoln has time to leave, John C. Breckinridge wants a battle. And of course, Turkey only has Peck and Sand Attack, but Sand Attack's actually pretty useful early on. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do much, and Charmander lands every hit, but we're able to eventually take out the Charmander. After doing a fetch quest for Professor Oak, it's time to face down John C. Breckinridge once again. So now Breckinridge has a Pidgey of his own. However, Turkey easily takes this thing out, and next up is the Charmander. I decided to go for some Sand Attacks, and that way the Charmander will miss some attacks and I can do more damage. However, it looks like I'm going to miss some based on, Sand Attack earlier from the Pidgey. And we're going to miss quite a few of these, but we finally take out the Charmander. Truthfully, I feel like Brock is going to be a terribly hard fight, especially since we only have flying type moves at this moment. So we're going to go ahead and try it out. Geodude has Defense Curl, which is really bad. Here we're basically doing a tug of war. I'm trying to leer to lower that defense as it raises its own defense with the Defense Curl. So we're going to go back and forth like that. And I decided to just try to hit some pecks and then maybe try to get some leers in. And as you see there, it's not doing much at all. We get a crit, but it still does barely anything. And this tug of war isn't doing very well because, Peck's not doing a lot naturally. We do eventually take it out after the Geodude goes for a few tackles. And next up is Onyx. And we're going to throw some Sand Attacks at this thing because I don't want to take any more tackles. And I'm going to try to leer it. This thing does not have Defense Curl, so if we can do a lot of damage early on, that would be great. And even with all that, Peck's doing hardly anything. And unfortunately, we're going to get hit with a Bide, which is really unfortunate. I'm just going to, stall out the Bide until I can actually do some damage. And unfortunately, we get hit with the last tackle. Second attempt, and we make it back to Onyx. But we took a lot of damage against the Geodude on this round. So the only way I can win this is if the Onyx completely misses the tackles and we play around the Bide. So I'm going to try to lower its defense as much as it'll go and lower its accuracy. We're going to try to just peck away. And whenever it goes for a Bide, we're just going to switch up tactics and keep leering, even though it doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, a tackle is going to connect with us again. Attempt number 3, and we actually level up to level 15 and learn Fury Attack. Of course, Fury Attack's not going to help us against an Onyx, but it's good to know that we've got another option instead of just Peck. So we're just going to throw some more Sand Attacks and Leers doing the same tactic. And really, the only way we can win this is if the Onyx misses Tackle. The fact that we lost to it actually hitting Tackle makes me think it's very possible to do it from here. And we actually get lucky this time and take it out. Once in Mount Moon, it's time for Abraham Lincoln to choose a fossil. And of course, Abraham Lincoln's going to choose the fossil that represents democracy instead of anarchy. Once we get to Cerulean City, I decided it's time to try our luck against Misty. We've actually got a few more levels than her, and we easily get through the Staryu. But it's now time for the Starmie. Here we actually learn Swords Dance, which I feel like is going to be an amazing move to have. We're going to go ahead and use Swords Dance as Misty goes for an X Defend. And we get a crit there, which is actually bad. So if you don't know, Gen 1, when a Pokemon gets a crit, it actually ignores their stat boost. So the fact that I got a crit with a Swords Dance basically means that it negates my Swords Dance. And that's actually going to be a problem for us going forward. and unfortunately the Starmie is going to finish off our Turkey. On our way to Bill's house, and who do we see? It's John C. Breckenridge, and we're going to have another rematch here. I'm going to just set up Swords Dance as he tries to quick attack, and with these Fury attacks, we're going to completely demolish his team. He doesn't even stand a chance. Fury attack, powered up with these Swords Dance, are kind of OP right now. And now I think it's time for another attempt at Misty, and this time Turkey's at level 27, so I'm pretty sure we've got this. We're just going to get some Swords Dance. We go for a Peck, and she's going to try an X-Defend, which is going to let it live, but we're going to go ahead and take it out with the Fury attack. On our way to the SSN, and who do we see? John C. Breckenridge. And at this point, we're actually at level 35, and we do have the Body Slam that we got from the Body Slam TM. And this thing is an insane move. John C. Breckenridge doesn't even stand a chance. Now at the Vermilion City Gym, we actually solved the puzzle with the first 2 trash bins we look into. I've never done that before. Usually, I'm trying my hardest to search through the bins, and it takes forever. I always find the first one and can't find the second one, and I have to start all over. This is the first time I've ever got it on the first 2 trash bins. I thought Lieutenant Surge could be quite challenging because of the electric types. However, Turkey just body slams everything, and nothing can stand in his way. Not even the Raichu. It one-shots the Raichu with Body Slam. This thing is actually pretty good. At level 39, Turkey wants to learn Slash. However, this is a terrible thing for us to do since we're going to rely on Swords Dance so much and how crit mechanics work in Generation 1. So we're just going to keep to Body Slam. At Lavender Town, John C. Breckenridge wants another rematch, and as you see here, Turkey is just cutting through the entire team. This is a big change from the last Pokemon Challenge I did. Pichu was terrible and couldn't break through anything even at 20 levels higher. Here we are, just running through entire teams like it's nothing. It's time to face Erica and her Grass-type Pokemon. Right off the bat, we're just going to go for a Peck. I'm not worried about Swords Dancing because I feel like we can just cut through here pretty easily. However, they're all 2 shots, and we actually get put to sleep by the Vileplume. But her Petal Dance does barely anything, and we just wake up and finish it off with a Peck. Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. So I'm going to go ahead and Swords Dance so that way we can actually do damage to Onyx. And even with that, we don't quite one-shot it. But we do dodge the Rock Throw, which is really nice. Rhyhorn goes down one-shot, and then of course Kangaskhan's going to be one-shot with a Body Slam. So I'm actually kind of in a dilemma. Do I try to grind a little bit more because the Elite Four is probably going to still be challenging, or do I try to skip some more trainers so that way I'm not over-leveled compared to the gym leaders? I'm deciding to, challenge some of the trainers, but skip some. So that way I don't get too over-leveled once we get to the Elite Four. So now we go ahead and fight Koga, and I'm going to just throw some Body Slams. Of course, these Pokemon actually have some decent bulk. I do get a Paralysis on Muck, which just makes it easier to take out next turn. However, I'm still kind of sort of nervous about Weezing, so I'm going to go ahead and fly as Koga goes ahead and uses Self-Destruct, basically giving me that victory right there. On our way to Cinnabar Island, we learn about this guy who can smoke a fine turkey, so we're going to challenge him. We take out Growlithe and Ponyta very easily. However, Rapidash is a little bit more of trouble. It ends up being a 2-shot, and we take the Stomp very well, though. Arcanine, of course, is not going to be a 1-shot, but Blaine wastes his turn going for Super Potions, and the crit's going to bring it down to where we can just take it out the next turn anyway. At the Fighting Dojo, Lincoln is offered either a Hitmonchan or a Hitmonlee, but Lincoln knows that these Pokemon do not taste very well smoked, so he's going to just skip that. Farfetch'd is the only Pokemon that can give that nice, moist flavor. It's Saffron City rival time, and this time he's got a Pidgeot, which isn't going to stand a chance. Turkey is just such an overpowered Pokemon at this point. We're going to one-shot Execute with a Fly, we're going to one-shot Gyarados with a Fly, we're going to easily take out the Alakazam. This thing does not stand a chance. The only Pokemon that could stand a chance is the Charizard, but instead of fully smoking the Turkey, it's just going to put a little kindling under it and get taken out the next turn anyway. Now it's time to face Giovanni at Saffron City. Is it going to be a problem for Turkey? No, because Turkey's kind of overpowered at this point. We don't quite one-shot Kangaskhan, but another attack and it's gone. We actually one-shot Rhyhorn after 2 Swords Dance. Of course we're going to. Swords Dance is so good. I'm kind of nervous if Turkey's going to be too powerful for the Elite Four. I didn't expect Turkey to actually do this well at this point. So we're just going to have to see if the Elite Four is more of a challenge like it has been in the past, or if Turkey's going to just plow right through. Time to face Sabrina, the Psychic-type gym leader. And Turkey here is going to just body slam pretty much everything. We're going to actually go for a body slam on Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime and Kadabra have terrible defense. Venomoth goes down to a fly, and Alakazam comes out. If you know Alakazam, it's got terrible defense as well, so a one-shot is a one-shot. Next up is Giovanni. This time we're facing him for the Earth Badge. I go ahead and get a Swords Dance. I don't know if Rhyhorn or Rhydon might give us some trouble in this one, so I go ahead and get those Swords Dances. We easily take out the Rhyhorn after a few hits, and then we just one-shot a lot of things until the Rhydon comes back out. And as you're going to see, Rhydon doesn't have much it can do to us. It only can stomp, and that barely does anything. So a fly will finish it off. And usually I use my Master Ball on something, small like a Pidgey. But you know what? I think I finally figured out the proper way of using a Master Ball in this game. You don't use it on something like a Pidgey. You actually take it to the store and sell it for a lot of money. Well, that wasn't a lot of money, but okay, maybe you don't do it that way. John C. Breckenridge, who wanted the Master Ball for himself, is unhappy with what I just did with it. So let's go ahead and have a battle with him. We're going to go ahead, take out the Pidgeot pretty easily. Rhyhorn comes out and goes for a Horn Attack, and a Fly with a Swords Dance is actually not enough to one-shot, but a Peck will finish it off. Execute comes out, and we just Peck. Next up is the Gyarados, and a Body Slam will body it. Of course, Alakazam's not a problem for us at all, and Charizard comes out to try to smoke the Turkey, but the Turkey wins. So at this point, I've been pretty much running through all these battles, so instead of, doing the usual grinding and stuff like that, I'm just going to jump right into the Elite Four and see if we can go and just, clean this up very easily. So first off is Lorelei, and I am kind of nervous about Lorelei. She uses Ice-type Pokemon, and I know some of her Pokemon are pretty bulky. So we're going to get a Swords Dance here, and I'm going to go for a Fly to do as much damage on the Cloyster. We don't quite take it out, but we do take it out the next hit. Unfortunately, we took a lot of damage from that Aurora Beam. Slowbro is going to waste its time here instead of, going after us. Jinx is not going to stand a chance, but that leaves the Lapras, who I'm kind of nervous about. We get a crit, which actually helps the Lapras live. If we didn't get that crit, I'm pretty sure we might have been able to take it out, but then the Lapras finishes off with a Blizzard. So I feel like I could have won if we didn't get that crit, and we actually had the full damage output. So I'm going to go back in, we're going to get a Swords Dance, we're actually going to get 2 this time, and that's going to help us take out the Cloyster, hopefully one-shot it so we don't take an unnecessary Aurora Beam. We're going to go to Fly and finish off the Cloyster nicely. Slowbro actually goes for a withdrawal, which actually keeps it alive, but instead of attacking that turn, Lorelei uses a Super Potion, which actually pretty much is a waste of time there. Last up is the Lapras, and we're going to go for Fly, but miss and get hit with a Blizzard. That was totally up to luck right there. I feel like I should have showed you guys the stats before I went in there, but you know what? I'll just show you guys Turkey stats right now. That attack stat is actually not bad. I actually have this thing at level 75 now, which might be too high, I don't know. We'll see if the later Elite Four members are sort of a challenge like Lorelei. Attempt number 3, and this time we're going to go for the Swords Dance once again. We're going to actually get 2 of them, so that way we can one-shot the Cloyster, because Cloyster is actually kind of scary. And this is actually the best run we've had so far, health-wise. So we're actually going to one-shot Slowbro this time, that one level actually helping us out. And now it's time for the Lapras, and we actually one-shot it. So if we did hit the Lapras anytime back on the other attempts, we would have actually won. Next up is Bruno, and this guy could either be our toughest battle or our easiest battle. His Onyx is actually kind of scary, and we're going to go ahead and get a bunch of Swords Dances because I want to be able to plow through these Onyxes. And even with all that, we still take 2 hits to finish off the Onyx. I decided to just go for Peck on the Fighting-type Pokemon. I feel like they really shouldn't pose much of a threat. Next up is that Onyx, and I body slammed that one, but it's actually a one-shot. Peck on the Machamp will finish it off, even with crit, basically undoing our Swords Dance. Next up is Agatha, and I feel like Agatha should be easy if we outspeed the Gengars, and we actually do outspeed the Gengars. So we're going to fly up, but we actually don't one-shot the Gengar, which actually surprised me. Gengar has terrible defense. However, she goes for Dream Eater, which if she hit us with Hypnosis, we would be in a world of hurt. However, she wastes her time Dream Eating. We're going to see Golbat take a hit and confuse us, but we do break through and hit it with a Body Slam. Here we break through the confusion, and she wastes her turn bringing out Arbok to take the fly. So yeah, we're going to see Haunter come back out, and we're just going to fly on that thing. Haunter doesn't stand a chance with fly. It's got even worse defense than Gengar. Last up is Gengar, and I am kind of nervous about this thing. It hits us with a Confuse Ray. I'm kind of nervous that it could put us to sleep and then Dream Eat us. However, we're going to see a Nightshade here, and we're going to just keep hitting ourselves. She's going to heal herself up, and that's got me nervous. However, we're able to break through the confusion, and that totally saved our run there. So now it's time to face Lance, and let me tell you the truth, I am nervous about this one. We're going to get smacked right away with a Hyper Beam and get critted. So I'm looking at my HP and I'm like, if we take any sort of damage, it's over. So I'm going to just keep body slamming everything. We've got a Swords Dance going, so hopefully we can one-shot things. Aerodactyl lives and hits us with a Hyper Beam, but we live with 7 HP, and we're able to inch our way out of that battle. And with how close that battle is, let me tell you, I'm sort of nervous about this final battle with John C. Breckenridge. So here it is, the final battle of the Farfetch'd Challenge. Can Abraham Lincoln overcome John C. Breckenridge? So right away, I want to set up Swords Dances. I'm actually kind of nervous about the Rhydon in the back. So we're going to try to set up so we can do good damage on that thing. This Pidgeot's going to waste turns just going for a Whirlwind, and then it's going to try to charge up for a Sky Attack. So really, this Pidgeot just let us set up Swords Dances with no sort of conflict there. Alakazam comes in, we one-shot that easily, and now it's time for the Rhydon. We're going to go ahead and Body Slam it, but the crit actually hurts us and makes it where the Rhydon's able to live. However, instead of attacking, it's going to go for a Tail Whip, so the next Body Slam will finish it off easily. Here, Executor comes out. A Peck finishes that off easily as well. Gyarados comes out. It's not going to stand a chance against Body Slam, not with so many Swords Dances. And last up is Charizard. The Charizard that wants to smoke the turkey so much, it's not going to be able to. And it goes down to a Body Slam. And with that, John C. Breckenridge has been defeated. So yeah, that challenge actually was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. I thought Farfetch'd might, get to the point where it gives us a lot of trouble, because I'm used to how Pichu gave us tons of trouble. Even at level 100, we still barely inched out. But here, Farfetch'd was actually able to pretty much sweep through entire teams on its own. So that was actually, I did not expect how well Farfetch'd did in this. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.